The officer have to contact you, inform you about the offense, and inform you that you may be reported for the offense of permitting another to drive when not covered by insurance. And you will see why we chose the other topic, which is taking without the consent of the owner, when we get down.
Okay.
Right. But before you go to that one, Bell, it's also important to note, GQ, that even when your vehicle is insured, based on your policy type, you are not supposed to allow the person to drive your vehicle when they are not covered. For example, if you have named drivers, what that means is that when you go to the insurance, you want to restrict a certain number of persons to drive your vehicle.
Right.
Those persons who are named on the insurance are the only persons who is authorized to drive your vehicle.
Okay.
And so in the event of an accident, that's another way how the person will not be covered by insurance. So you can have your valid license and everything, but the fact that you are not part of the insurance, you are not named on the insurance. And so it is easier when your insurance is saying any authorized person or any authorized driver. So you don't have any name, anybody, and the authorized driver in that case will be the person who has a valid driver's license.
Got you.
And so on. So this is something important for the public to be aware of, because sometimes you go and you take out your insurance policy and you kind of restrict it to a certain number of drivers and you forget.
Well, I thought.
Yes.
Good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can I speak?
Yes, you can.
I want to congratulate the people at Bullseye Rental. When you're coming into the Central Bank roundabout, they put a sign there pointing to exactly where the business is located. I must say it is very sad that our traffic people come on the road and give traffic instructions in the manner we got memory verses back in Sunday school. One thing before you go. If I can remember reading traffic laws, if you did any work on the road, which is going to cut the road in half, you first go to the police department and explain to them what you're doing. They give you instructions. One of it is to put somebody to guide the traffic, because you're cutting a marginally double road in half, you know. Our roads, they have two lanes, but it's very marginal. So when you cut the road in half, by law, you should have somebody there guiding the traffic. Neither public nor private people do it. It is allowed to continue. I saw something just 2 days ago down in my neck of the road where somebody doing some work there. And if you see where they park the pickup, right in the corner, okay? We no regard for other drivers at all. But you guys in traffic, you know what the traffic rules are, you know. They must come to first to get permission to do whatever they're doing on the road. But you all do not enforce the rule. But one thing I'm going to say to anybody, you know, when you go and park in those places creating an impediment to traffic, and there's an accident, you're liable, be it public or private or whoever. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm not quite sure to what the caller is referencing. But if I should, from what I gather from what the caller is saying, first and foremost, when there is roadworks are being undertaken, then the licensing authority is being written to have that permission. And so he said the traffic is informed. It's then disseminated to the traffic department, but it really the licensing authority. And so and a public notice will be placed to advise the public in relation to that. There isn't any requirement in law that I am aware of that you have to have somebody in place, but part of the traffic management will be where diversion or some kind of detour so that you don't have any inconvenience or congestion to the traffic. And so those, because traffic has to flow, at the same time that particular road work is a high priority, and so you want everybody to be able to undertake the normal course of business, and so the traffic management will put in place to ensure that there is still minimal disruption to the flow of traffic. In relation to persons who use vehicles and those kind of things, the caller is correct that those are not good practices to continue with, in terms of if you are undertaking work around a corner, it doesn't make any sense to put a vehicle. Probably have some kind of signage or a cone, for example, to forewarn the motorists, and so that they can exercise caution as necessary to safely navigate and maneuver along that particular road, and so on. Traffic continues to do that. I know that there are times when people may do things without going through the proper authority, but once that is being brought to the knowledge of the traffic department, then the persons are being spoken to and advised of the proper procedure. So you don't always have everything go perfectly, but for the most part we ensure that everything is done for the proper management of the road safety and everything.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for clearing that up for the
Yes.
caller as well. Officer Bell, we were looking at permitting another to drive when not covered by insurance. What is the charge? You made a message.
That's the name of the charge. Permitting another to drive.
No, not the name of the charge. What is the charge? $500, $2,000? You say it's a arrestable offense.
Yes. The arrestable offense is the person driving when not covered by the insurance. The owner is normally reported, summons to the court. The fee is based on the magistrate, but what's the maximum fee? I do not know it from my head. I don't know if this judge would have any preview to that.
I'm not sure of it, but you're correct. Usually there is always a maximum fee, but the magistrate exercises our discretion based on the circumstances, because you may very well be able to give an explanation that is reasonable to the court.
Okay.
And so the court will apply accordingly.
Hold on a second, guys. Before you continue, hold on a second. Good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning. I'm listening, and I'm a phone, so the signal is dropping in and out. I'm just seeking some clarification via driving without being under insurance and the charges. So are you saying, Officer Bell, that I have a valid license and someone gave me their car to make a run,
Yes.
like, and I'm not under insurance?
Yes.
I can be charged for that?
Yes. It's your obligation to ensure that the
But how can the police charge me for driving, like, when I have a valid license? I think that is something for the insurance. That's why I'm seeking clarification here, because if I happen to get in an accident, then the owner of the vehicle should know that I am not covered by his or her insurance. So I don't see how the police is involved, because I have a valid license. A valid license means that I can drive on the road. I could see where I have a Class A license and I'm driving a big truck. I don't have the license for that. And I get charged. But I don't think that it is fair and right to be charged for driving a vehicle that is licensed and where I have a license, but because I'm not covered by the insurance, that is a arrestable offense. I think something is missing there. And, we're living in a real world. I don't think anybody will come and say, hey, show me your driver's license, let me see if it is valid. But the onus is on you to make sure that the person have that valid license and your insurance is covered. I could remember an incident where a guy explained to me that his license do not cover anybody to drive but him. So he cannot give me his car. He has to take me. And I said, I understand. You know, and I said, he has done it that way to prevent, because, you know, sometimes you buy a mansion, you mash it up, and you want to pay back for it. And you ain't covered by the insurance. So let me and the public know which part of the law you're quoting from with that traffic violation. Thank you. Good job, Officer Ben.
Okay. Yeah. Just to respond to the caller. First, you must ensure. Yes, you have a valid license that covers you to drive a vehicle that is properly covered by insurance for you. For example, if we stop you down the road in a rental and the vehicle have one lighted headlamp, we are not going to give the rental company that ticket. The driver is the person in control of the vehicle, and that's why we would give that driver the ticket. If they want to go back to the rental company and say, hey, I rented a vehicle from you, and it's not, you have one light, and I got penalized for it, then you can give them that ticket. But whoever we stop driving that vehicle, the person who is in control of the vehicle is who the police will deal with. And that's why we extend the charge to the owner for permitting them to drive when they know they were not covered by insurance. But it's the obligation to ensure that whatever vehicle they're going to jump in is properly covered by insurance to cover them. In terms of the fee, reading from the act, it said, if a person acting contrary to this section, he or she shall be liable on a summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $1,500.
Okay.
Or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months. So those are the maximum penalty for that offense.
Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you're live.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, GK again. Good morning, youngster. Good morning, Sad.
Come on,
There's a little concern that I have, for a while now, right? And the hurricane season is coming, right? Good conversation about driving without insurance. I guess a lot of people are look, not to give people a chance, sir. But my concern is down here by the person, by the old treasury. Right? Because for the longest while they have some scaffold. Right? And I don't see nobody here to set up the working. Right? I don't know if you guys have a time frame when more or less like this board structure will be taken down, because again my problem always be is the people that who have to stand up by the board in the road to cross the crossing. Right? I don't like to see it at all. Right? And even yesterday, when you know that you have a tourist boat in, it was awful. Right? And I asking the general public who in charge of there, please to put a time frame and when this treasury building is going to finish. Because this boat thing what is up, I don't like it. The matter of fact, I don't like to see people standing up in the road waiting to cross the crossing for the stoplight. Because I remember a time up there in College Street and I talking shit. When the light said I must walk, when the light said Tyrone Brown must walk, and I pick up nothing. I pick up hit me up there. But it goes off me and everything. Luckily that yes, I know the person. Yes, it could have been somebody else, because we practically standing up in the road to come out and start it. But so I need for you guys to look into that, please. Thanks. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Nice topic. I'll stop letting people chance them.
Yes, Granny, that's a very good observation. So that can be inquired into, because it's been quite some time in relation to that, and I do agree that it presents some inconvenience to the smooth flow of traffic. So it's something that can be looked into, and And as to a required time frame, generally when their request is submitted to the licensing authority, they will give an estimated time period, but I'm not aware of the time period for that particular project. So I will I can ask a question and see what happened. But I do agree in relation to that suggestion, observation.
All right, hold on, guys. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning, Nikhil.
Morning.
A good program. But do you think the police and the insurance, when they're in other vehicle, some of them may not insurance, they just like us too. So why penalize us? Just talk to us and see we got it right. But some of the police that how they driving this vehicle full speed, especially the government vehicle. That's an insurance for government? I want to know. Have a blessed, good program.
Okay. Well, that is what we are doing at this moment through this media, this program, to bring people aware in relation to their the driving obligation, and even the obligation when they own a vehicle. And so, even I don't know if you're referring to police driving their personal vehicle or the government vehicle, but every person, the law applies to everyone.
Let's back to the phone line. Good morning, you're live.
Hello, good
Hi,
morning.
good morning. I'm just calling brief to see if I missed something from Maguire. I wonder if you say that when people don't work on the road, be it public or private, the relevant precautions are taken?
Well, yes, once you would have made the request through the licensing.
Mr. Maguire,
authority.
you almost take this conversation down the correct route here. Because too often you see on the road, the public, they're walking on the road, and they don't have anybody guiding the traffic. The fact is because you're not enforcing the traffic rules. Okay? Anybody walking on the road should go to the department first and get permission, explain what they're doing, and be given the relevant precautions. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, I think we're saying the same thing. And what I said is that, for example, if there is a project that is going on, some work, part of the obligation is the person to have those, if the need arises, to have somebody to direct the traffic, then you put that in place. If it is a need for the diversion of traffic, you also put that in place. So we're really saying the same thing.
All right, let's go back to the phone line.
Yeah.
Good morning, you're live.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. I still don't wait when Bucky was talking. Am I understanding correctly that as long as your name is not on as long as your name is not on a insurance, but any vehicle that you're driving is a ticket offense, or you mean like buses, taxis, and so on any vehicle?
Okay.
I listen up here.
No, what we were saying is that whenever you would have insure your vehicle, some people, they will insure their vehicle with named drivers. So you have your driving, the persons who drive your vehicle, you have that limited to a number. And so in those cases, when you have named drivers, nobody else other than who is named on the insurance should be driving the vehicle. Now, we are not saying that the police will go looking for that, but in the event of an accident, that can be a serious problem, because if the person gets in an accident and the owner of the vehicle, the insurance is a name insurance, and that person who was driving is not one of those named persons on the insurance, that's where you can get into problems with the law. That's what we were saying.
Gentlemen, we'll have to wrap it up there,
Yes.
though. We'll have to wrap it up for this morning. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you to those of you who called in to express your concerns, ask your questions, and seek clarification. We'll be back next week with more on the road.
Yes.
1 o'clock, we put us up next. Compliments to Grange.